Jack Thunder and the Dawn of Unity. Chapter 2. Crossing Paths. Stephanie's wild ride ended with her plunging face first into the dirt. The swirling portal behind her sealed shut, leaving her sprawled on the ground. She lifted her head, spitting out a mouthful of wet grass. Where was she? She couldn't make out much in the mist that surrounded her. Stephanie stood up and looked around. She was in the middle of a field during a rainstorm. Behind her stood a jagged, imposing mountain, cloaked in shadow. There wasn't much in front of her save for a bunch of weird, squat trees and damp grass that seemed to stretch on forever. The early morning rain enveloped the land in heavy fog. A bright flash of lightning bathed the land in false sunshine for only a second, snapping Stephanie out of her trance. Was this supposed to be the tutorial level? It wasn't like any she'd ever seen. Not only was this place super creepy, but there wasn't anyone else around. No NPCs to talk to, no enemies to fight. What kind of game was this anyway? She spotted a fallen branch from one of the trees and picked it up. At the very least, she would need something to defend herself with. She began to plod away from the mountain. There had to be a town around here somewhere. Once she found it, she would ask the residents if they had any quests for her. She knew what she was dealing with. Jack Thunder checked his sack one last time before he left. It looked like everything was in place. He gave Razor a pat on the head before he went outside, shutting the door behind him. He slung Stormbringer over his shoulder, fastening it to his back. It didn't matter that it was twice as big as he was. He never knew when he might need it. Even with the Heart of Alterus restored, the Wendigos could strike at any moment. He'd only made a few steps outside the village when he saw a mysterious figure in the distance. It didn't look like a storm gremlin. While its form resembled that of a young Fifunella, it had no antennae. None that he could see anyway. Jack Thunder crept up closer to the shadowed figure. His breath hitched when he realized what he was looking at. A human. There was a human girl on Tempest Island, no older than 15. But how had she ended up here? She was just as confused as he was, pacing around with the spearleaf tree branch in her hands. Unsheathing his lightning staff from his back, Jack Thunder stepped forward. Hi there, do you need— Ah! Blue Goblin! The human shrieked. Jack Thunder jumped back as she began swinging her stick at him. Die, you! Jack Thunder ducked out of the way of the stranger's makeshift weapon. Green lightning crackled around Stormbringer before Jack Thunder managed to lift his attacker off the ground, suspending her in an electrical orb. What? He panted. What in Alterus was that for? Let me out of here, Goblin. I'm the savior of this world. The introduction told me so. The stranger thrashed, trying to loosen herself from Jack Thunder's magical grip. She threw her fist against the barrier, giving herself a nasty shock. The introduction? Jack Thunder's face twisted in confusion. Yeah, your introduction video. It told me there was a new change on the horizon, and I was supposed to lead it. Jack Thunder blinked. A new change on the horizon? Wait a minute. The stranger caught sight of the bladed staff in the Storm Gremlin's left hand. Oh no! I didn't recognize you. You're Jack Thunder, right? Jack Thunder took a step back. How exactly did this human know who he was? The introduction told me about you too. You and your friends restored the Heart of Alterus. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean any of those things I said, I swear. The human gasped for breath. Okay, clearly this human was no threat. Jack Thunder dispelled his lightning orb, dropping her to the ground. What is this introduction you're talking about? What do you know about me? The stranger told him all about a video she'd watched that told the story of Alterus and the War of the Wendigos. It told her there was a great change coming, and then transported her to Alterus through her computer screen. Next thing I know, I'm here. The way she described it, Jack Thunder couldn't help but think he'd read something about a portal like this before. A particularly aggressive one that sucked its targets into itself, trapping them in Alterus until it was satisfied with their time there. The elders in his village had referred to it by the name Adventures in Alterus. But it had vanished soon after the war, just like all the other portals. Then again... Jack Thunder shook his head. It didn't really matter. The human girl was not from Alterus. Somehow, the Earth portals had opened again. He grabbed her hand. Don't worry, I'll figure out what to do with you. I was going to visit Shadow-Paws today. He's kind of shy, but he's lots of fun. You'll like him. He suddenly remembered. By the way, what's your name? Stephanie. Stephanie followed Jack Thunder all the way to the edge of the island. With a wave of his staff, Jack Thunder made a cloud for them to ride on. The two of them floated away from Tempest Island, far above the world of Alterus. Meanwhile, in the Flipside, it was not a happy day for the forces of Null. Without the Heart of Darkness to lead them, the Wendigos had fallen into chaos. The Heart's former generals scrambled for power, fighting tooth and nail to ascend the deserted throne. Each of them promised a future offering endless anima for their kind to feast on. The lesser shadow demons believed them. One of them, however, knew better. Nemesis opened its eyes to another day in the world of darkness that was the Flipside. Or was it night? Neither seemed to exist in this dismal place. The high mantle cape it once wore sat in front of it, crumpled on the featureless ground. What use was it anymore? Nemesis was no longer the Heart of Darkness's top general. It was nothing. Oh, Nemesis, you were always nothing. A shadowed mass came into Nemesis's view. Shapeless, just like itself, but Nemesis could recognize the tall, antler-like horns protruding from its form anywhere. Malefic. What do you want? Well, Nemesis, it has come to my attention, the Greater Wendigo began, that you were not so loyal to the Heart during your tenure as its top general, pouncing on one of our fighters, helping that storm gremlin and his cursed crew to the 6th fragment of anima. What did the Heart of Darkness think of that? The Heart of Darkness is gone, Malefic. Nemesis had the feeling it knew exactly where this was going. Exactly. And if it weren't for you, we'd have all the anima in Alterus by now. Malefic's form began to shift. It morphed into a terrifying new shape, one that bore a striking resemblance to the form Nemesis used to take. A dragon's face with the horns of a great stag, a long serpentine neck, and a lean body bearing the claws of a lion. It towered over Nemesis. Malefic bent down, scooping up Nemesis's cape in its claw. I don't think you deserve to have this anymore. It cinched the article of clothing around its own neck. The cape billowed in the invisible wind. The Flipside doesn't need soft, sickly generals like you around. And when I deliver all of Alterus's anima to the Flipside, no one will even remember your name. What are you going to do? You can't kill me. Perhaps not. A window to Alterus opened behind Malefic. Through it, Nemesis could see the summit of Mount Tempest, black clouds and lightning-breathed wyverns circling its peak. But leaving you at the mercy of that storm gremlin who put you in your place will be punishment enough. Before it could react, Nemesis felt the sticky hold of 4 or 5 Wendigos surround it. The darkness of the Flipside gave way to chaotic flashing light as the former Wendigo general was tossed through the portal. Nemesis screamed and thrashed the whole way down. Peering through the window, Malefic laughed. Gahaha! Good riddance.